start with the reading minutes of 13.
Yeah.
I will accept the reading of the minutes. It has to be read on paper. And I will second it on favor. Carry. New business, the March reports, financial reports. I know all of them so excited to come. And obviously we're 25% since we're at the end of June with the reports. The first one is rainy day. And lo and behold, it does show down at the bottom left-hand corner there is the plan shows the transfer from the general fund for $4,632 we were allowed to transfer. So that was the only activity I believe in the rainy day fund there into March. So we have a beginning balance of 12,418 and an ending balance of 17,050. Okay, any questions on that? The next one is the township fund. And I highlighted the areas that are over 25%. The first one is the printing and the postage. We did about it. Summary. So we're zero budgeted. And we spent $43. And I think that's no big deal.
There's more about the advertising and the exercise.
So, professional services is another one that's at 51%, and the budget is 15,000, then 7,000.
For software. Yeah, we have some of the net results, take some of the microspectrum. It's perfect that with and then send it all.
Okay, so really it's, we're not over budget, we're just ahead of schedule, it's not a monthly charge, it's a non-recurring charge. Okay. You can deal with that.
Yeah.
And then bank charges, we had a budget of $400 and it made, yeah.
So those are the fees that pay paychecks, process, and payrolls.
Just budget, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we had to do the rates higher than what we guys.
Okay, and capital outlays, we spent $10,473. Is that right? Last year, we didn't get. Well, we spent that this month on the building. Is that put there for the year? So probably construct buildings, capital outlays in the township general.
Probably dynamic mechanic.
No, that's a year. I remember that quote was $10,000.
And there was also around 75.
The gas lines, for the gas lines, repair, that was,
Chasing down all the leaks.
well,
Okay. So, and the good news is the total, we're not budget over in any way. We're 19% year to date for the total for the township fund. We budgeted 163,000, we spent 32,000. So, for your information, these individual accounts are just from usually when we budget, it's really the total that the state's concerned about. And, okay, so there in the total, we start out with 222,278 in the fund, and that this is a cash. And then we got receipts of 15,000. I question what that was.
14,400.
Okay. So we'll go out and income taxes. The distribution on that. Okay. Any questions on the township fund? And then let's already talked about that. Township assistance. That's the one that's on two different pages, but some where they we spent $400, $491.87 in March. So we're only at 10%. Good. And I put all that information down at the bottom of my copy. We start out with 44,527 cash in the direct quarterly, and we got $41,463 left. Questions on the forms? Or township assistance, I guess I should say. Then the big account of township fire and EMS. Again, we should be at 25%. Everything. The first one I highlighted was the clothing allowance. We're 37%. So, pricing. Clothing allowance. It makes some difference.
we still got some to make too.
And insurance and workplace comp at 75%, that's on the time over the year. Building maintenance, spent $2,944. That's a in total 47%. So I up some of that. Or doors, or maybe the doors.
Probably.
And the total there, we're 33%. That's the total for other services we charges. So that's the combination of those two items that we discussed. Capital outlay, we're okay. Total, the fire fund, we're exactly at 25% off that. So, good shape there. We've got started out with 985,773 in the fund. We received 1,525, which I don't know if that is interest maybe.
Will be fire recovery too.
Okay. Cash balance at the end is 831,493. That's cash. As far as what's appropriated, the bottom line goes clear across there. Our original budget was 2,191,755, and year to date we spent 558,000. That leaves us 1,632,804 left. That's appropriated. So the difference between what you're seeing up above and the little box down below, that's cash that's not been appropriated part of that. So the whole unappropriated cash plus the budgeted cash is what's in the lower left-hand corner. That's why those numbers are. We've got more money than we've got approval to spend. So
So that clothing, wow, but this clothing, there's turnout here. That and back one, so turnout here, it was a lot of things in.
that's what the word is.
Yeah, we've talked about work on the line items a little bit.
Back then.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's required.
It gets handed down to like paid on calls, yeah. If it makes it 10 years, then yeah. But there should be. Right, that should be line item, duty wear versus, work wear, yeah. Yeah, for sure. Okay.
Any questions? Fire. Okay, the cumulative fund, again, 5% of the same amount every month. We started out with a budget of $393. Odd number, but, we spent 44,000 here today. So we've got 184,134, left that's appropriated. And then if you look at the lower left-hand corner there, you'll see we've got cash balance at the end of the month of 427,726. If you were really paying attention, I think we're gonna run out of money in the township fund. So we have to move it to our property tax distribution. That would be roughly half of what the full budget goes through a year. So that's what.
And we also did the other active.
Yeah, right. And all the miscellaneous revenues that come in two shots. Payday is at the end of the year. Okay, so any questions on the key fund or any of that? Okay, the last one is it's really the checkbook bank accounts. That's total. We have money plus in Indiana, and of that PNC Bank, and those are what our cash balance of what we spent year to date, and what we originally had at the beginning of the year, and what the total left there. So, mentioned fire recovery. I did have a question on that. So we are still occasionally getting some, and we're using. There's an outfit that's billing for it.
Yeah, we send them all the information and then they take care of the billing. Mhm.
Fire recovery for your information with the money to build the insurance companies and homeowners that fire. The capital homeowners insurance is paid so much and that's what's in that fund. Okay. That being the case, there's any more questions, we'll go on to the other new business. We are in the process of trying to be ahead of the curve and without taking a look at health insurance. Is not expire December 10th, that's right, it's December 1st, annual, October 1. And then October 1. So, anyway, we're in a situation bringing it up to the ER shop and it's part of the primary care. This is a new independent situation. So it looks promising at this point. Township is using it as still that. So Give you ahead of it, but we're, that they look at trapping around, trying to be ahead of, proactive and be ahead of the game in the current coverage, expires. We also have to have a webinar or something that should plan to apparently the state is changing the budgeting process. Yeah, so we got to go back to school and see what their requirements are. So that's coming up, and then I wrote a letter to the commissioners, and basically for your information, St. Joe County has a contract with the city of South Bend to provide fire EMS service in the southern parts of the county that we have. And just so you know, that contract, the county owns frontline ALS ambulances, one backup ambulance, and one frontline and one backup change vehicle. So the county already owns those South Bend use them. And the current contract is 2.3 million a year. And the recovery ambulance call gets about $100,000 back. So the net that's costing the county is about 1.4 million. And that includes the staffing of that equipment. So there's 3 ALS paramedics and 12 BLS paramedics in the law. So that's a bargain. And I'm trying to make a point that commissioners will, well, their total budget for the county for everything is $90 million for 2026. And 1.4 million of that would be 1.4%. It's, so I tried to make a point to them that they want to ingratiate themselves with the voters in the southern part of the county. They ought to renew that contract. So I sent that on April 9th. Haven't heard that. I'm just trying to push that issue. Okay. Okay, old business, the surface water. Did have John Law, I love John Law, who was in the surveyor's office. He's probably the only one up there that knows much about all the drainage of the county. We had him out here to look at, he actually was getting up the property, and I called him and he said, well, I'm there now. So I met him here and we took a look at where the water runs down the sidewalk out here, comes into our extension, and Whipple looked at some biggest couple really easy things. The breaks in the on the sidewalk were pointing the wrong direction, so we turned those around. There's a sod along the sidewalk that goes down to Whipple's house, about 3 or 4 acres tall. Water can't get off the sidewalk, and there's a drain right there. So for minimal amount of money, even though it is the county's responsibility, let's get them to do it. I think we could do a little landscaping there to direct the water into that drain. And then he also suggested that the retention pond out of there is going to help with clean that, but since it's been built, we have some problems to know. So we may take a look at dredging that out, put some something in there like that. So it's kind of a common practice. I know that kind of nice shirt for us, for me, they were a lot fuller about it. And the maintenance going up to soil. Yeah, soil side.
We have water in our backyard, and I mean, we get water. It's it's there for the week and it brings. We've had fishers back then. Yeah, we've had it's one year, it's what we got two. So yeah, and it's always, I mean, it's not there is anything you think of it like that.
So I guess the way I'm looking at it, we've got 2 chances to get the county to come out and do anything major, slim them on. And if we can do some very inexpensive things to help the situation, because that's where we're at. I'd rather have the ambulance than the ambulance service. So that's my story on that. Roof leaks and mold. Obviously, you said they had a bug back. We were gonna have clean the fabric up there, the membrane and do an inspection. And then we've got some damage in the one bumper in the deal with, so the work folder was out for the preliminary form breaker.
They own the roof.
Yeah, right. Yeah, well, first thing I'm gonna do is get the roof. It's very good. The 2011 F-150. Have we got any clear ideas on how to use it, or are we gonna?
Yeah, I mean,
Say,
the guys have been utilizing it more and more, but it'll come down to, getting that next apparatus. Are we gonna sell the engine, sell that? Are we gonna group some things together to bring that cost down? And space as well.
the training, we've got the door thing here. They've been doing some online, like, I guess you can address that when we get to.
Yeah.
Incidentally, that door device trainer,
Mhm.
if you ever watch the Chicago Fire on Wednesday nights, lo and behold, they had one they were. So I've seen one. Okay, exercise equipment, we, bought a new treadmill. And everybody loves it, I'm sure.
Nice.
Capital needs status, got a slide on that, we can talk about that, and I think. Chief's report, North Liberty Green Center, with that, died. And, so we're done our own. For this year at least. And next year probably, relocation of data panel. Where we at on that?
We're in the process, already reached out to the YouTube people are getting those prices that they're like. Ready.
And Marty, who's the first, so, who building,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Forest cover, we had a demo in here. Did everybody think that was the right thing to buy, or?
Yeah, I think so. And then with them giving us a few hundred for the old one, I think helps out a little bit too.
Okay,
They're pretty big time.
I think it was in stock.
Yeah, I think whenever we're ready to.
Oh,
No, I think, I want to sit down, once they determine. Once we determine what, the funds available, they can sit down, but. Really, that, and talk about what we want to put this. The digital sign, I haven't heard anything back from the guy that gave us the $20,000 quote. He was supposed to check, because we got a variance. I think Tom Hurdle said we got a variance when he put that sign in. He was concerned that we kind of always had a little ribbon across the bottom. So I haven't heard back, but let's have to follow up and see where you're at on that. Any other old business? Okay. That.
Yeah, first due's going well. Firefighters picking it apart, putting them in leadership roles of different aspects of first due, so we're getting more and more out of it. So that's going well. As far as runs, our total for March is 88 calls. That's down from 120 calls in March of 2025. But if you recall, March 2025, we had some storms. So in 2 days, we had 42 calls in 2 days. That's why there's a little bit of a drop off this year. So running total this year through March It's 273. And in 2025, we're at 296. So down 23 calls, through, but like I said, that's a storm that, sent that up a little higher. The equipment maintenance, squad 42 went in for a PM, got an alignment, new steer tires. 4201 went in, batteries, tire repair, oil change. We just PM and each truck, preventative maintenance, each one. And then, so the next one up probably be tanker 42, get that all done. Personnel issues, battalion chief has officially retired as of April 11th. So firefighter McIndarfer has been promoted to battalion chief. Officially, he's been getting seat pay since then, but he'll be officially in that role. He was a BC before when we were Southwest and left and came back. He will lead C shift. An open position on C shift has been filled by Kylie Richard, which is Kylie Flats. She was here before, but she's coming back. She also works with Liberty and Polk. Might be one other one she works with too, but yeah. Oh, no, Kylie? No, she's back. She works at some other, yeah, but C shift, maybe that's. So her start date was April 10th. So we are now fully staffed and good to go. Just going down to the Haggerty case, that's been decided on both of those. You want me to go into how it was decided? Or how? Why? So. Yeah, so it's been decided he pled guilty to intimidation charge, Class A misdemeanor. He was given a 365 days suspended sentence, and the ban on being on center fire department grounds and no contact with firefighter order continues. He also pled guilty to domestic battery charge, Class A misdemeanor, given 180 days suspended sentence, ankle monitor for 180 days, and must attend treatment through the VA. And so that, yeah, I think. Sure. I don't think the capital list, which we talked about in all three shifts, kind of presented and kind of ballpark what was most needed. And I have a officers meeting with the captains and the BCs next week, so we can go through that a little more. But, yeah, right. Yeah. Okay, like I said, when you sit down, you figure out, think about finding that appropriate or unappropriate. That was. Okay. When they put that maintenance, did I see your truck over the next across the street? Yeah, that was using them for smaller stuff. Good. We'll see how that goes. Smaller trucks. I think we took the towel over there a couple weeks ago. So. Firefighter this time. We did a little bit, not much. Anything else for the chief? Gotcha. Work from others. Not here. Dave's not here, but Bob, you got anything? I think they're trying to work with us, try to figure out for Denny's retirement. Feeling. So. Yeah. Dave's been working on that, so we'll talk to Dee, so we'll figure it out. So. Yeah. Yep. Okay.
Yeah, the only thing I've got is we've got the new locution computer replacement. Just I gotta pick the morning and I'm gonna do it on and I don't wanna change it out at night and I don't wanna do it on the weekend. I'm sure dispatch is available and stuff, so but it's ready to be plugged in.
Or we got the iPads.
But the iPads. So, you know, other than that, just kind of anxious to see, like, any more of that stuff moved out.
Yeah, and then there was furniture that were in there. To make that better. Oh. Okay, I think there'd be a lot of changes once that's done, because as far as deal with lighting and alarms and so on. Okay. Next question, anybody? Yeah. Don't move. There's a motion made to, adjourn. There's a motion made to adjourn, all in favor. Motion carried. Thank you, Tom.
Actually stay online the whole time.
Yeah.
Good job.